Alongside Ashbourne, the only other area outside Dublin that saw any kind of sustained or substantial fighting, or indeed fighting of any kind during the Easter Rising, would have been East Galway. Galway City and many of its towns would have been staunchly Redmondite in their politics. It wasn't unusual, for example, in Galway City to have scuffles between Redmondites and Republicans on the streets of the city. And indeed, in the course of the week of the Easter Rising, members of the Irish National Volunteers in Galway City itself would have helped the authorities to police the city in response to what some people seem to view as a pro-German uprising. In the aftermath of events in Galway, the Tuam Herald described members of the Irish Volunteers who had fought in East Galway as simply German hirelings. Now, that may have been the towns, but parts of rural Galway would have had a much greater sympathy towards separatist republicanism, and this was certainly true of the towns to the east of Galway City, where most of the fighting that took place would have taken place. Towns such as Clarenbridge, Athenry, and these were the areas that would have seen the most kind of fighting, insofar as there was fighting. The two key leaders in the events in Galway were the Lancashire-born Irish Volunteers organiser Liam Mellows and Tom Kenny, a blacksmith from Craughwell who was involved in the Irish Republican Brotherhood in the GAA and was also involved in agrarian insurgency. And there's a case to be made that perhaps Galway's own traditions of rural unrest and agrarian insurgency overlapped with membership of the Irish Volunteers. The 500 or 600 volunteers who assembled in the early days of Easter week 1916 would overwhelmingly have been drawn from small farmers, artisans, labourers. Their weapon of choice, or I suppose the weapon they most commonly used, would have been a shotgun, which I suppose is another testament to their agrarian origins. Having assembled on Easter Monday, on Tuesday 25th of April, the volunteers attacked RIC barracks at Clarenbridge on Oranmore, capturing a few members of the RIC as they did so. On Wednesday there was another attack on an RIC column coming out of Galway, during which an RIC constable was killed. Afterwards, they retreated back to Athenry and then moved south to My Old Park and Lime Park, two areas just south of where Athenry was. Galway City was rife with stories of U-boats, German landings in Galway Bay, and these may simply have magnified the reality that there was some kind of naval activity in the bay. A British warship, HMS Gloucester, would have fired shells in the general vicinity of Athenry, and as the week went on, the remaining volunteers who were active had mostly returned to their homes by Friday. Mellows and Kenny both absconded to the States. There was apparently no love lost between them. A great deal of tension existed between the two leaders, and events in Galway came to, you might say, a fairly quiet end. They petered out. There were ramifications, though, for the families of some of those who were involved. Of over 300 natives of Galway County who were detained after the Easter Rising, apparently in Athenry, the families of some of those detained came in for some kind of abuse and were apparently boycotted by local employers and shopkeepers. Presumably, the Redmondite sympathies of many in Galway City and many in Galway's towns remained extremely strong in the aftermath of 1916.